them black. Give me diamond watch, give me platinum plaque. I'm a goon or something, I make do with that. Ain't here to small talk, don't need the chat. Know that I was made in the lab. The scientist screaming, oh my God. Give him swagger, a tone beach bar. Let him hit the streets, let them die. What I mean to be great when you at halftime. When you're 20 years old, never had a touchdown. When you lose a control, all your brother's been gone. You're confused, you alone, never earned you a dime.
I got the gold, I think I'm gonna win. Race in the morning, yeah.
All right, there we go. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
Oh man, for some reason my meeting and then it's freezing up on me. Anyway, this is the Just Saying podcast. Yeah, it is because I know it is raining outside. But of course, you know the show still goes on. Of course, this is the Just Saying podcast. We live stream every Wednesday here at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, out of the EFW Dallas Fort Worth, Texas metropolitan area. Of course, I am Ferman, along with my lovely teammate. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
The one and the only Larissa Lo. Thank you so much for joining us, for coming on the show. We really appreciate you. We really do. So, you know, every interview, every person that comes into the podcast and take the time out of their day to listen, to comment. And we have listeners that have been here since day one. Look, for all those people out there, thank you so much. And we just want to give, shout out, give our appreciation, because it would not happen. And we would not continue without the support and love that is shown to us. So, yes, thank you guys in advance. So, and thank you as well. Yes. And I'm excited. We are excited to hear your story. So, yeah.
Most
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Look, I'm ready. Look, I'm ready. What's up?
What's going on, everybody? It's Pap Star, hailing from Mobile, Alabama. Known Ferman for a long time, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Queen. I'm excited too, and I'm ready to get it popping.
Okay.
Man, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? We are from the same hometown, Mobile, Alabama. You're currently still in Mobile.
I'm an outsider. Sure, I know. I'm an outsider around here, but it's okay. I'm a cute outsider, so I'm gonna keep it moving like that.
Well, you know what?
No, I mean, you ain't an outsider now. We locked in now, so it's all good.
Yeah, awesome stuff. You know what? We appreciate you, Pap, as well. The title of this episode is called Pap Star Unleashed: The Rise, Rhythm, and Raw Truth. Here on this platform is totally different from the Walking This Ways platform. It is uncut, uncensored, unadulterated. Be yourself. You don't have to wear a mask. Whatever you feel you gotta say. I'm just saying, because we all adults here, and we just have to sugarcoat anything, walk around eggshells. Do you agree with that, Lo? That we should have to walk around eggshells?
Yep, 100%. I look, be yourself. I am about being yourself 100%, because guess what? You don't have one life. You have one life, and who are you putting on the act for? Right. Like, who do you have to act for? Like, at the end of the day, I feel like no matter who you are, people, if they love you, if they about you, they're gonna appreciate you in all forms, no matter how you come. You come in like, the feminine way, the masculine way, the whatever, however you are, they're going to love you regardless. So that is true, like showing love and without walking on eggshells. Yes.
I like that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ferman, are you lagging?
I mean, most definitely. I mean, that's what it's all about.
He said most definitely.
I am lagging.
Is your internet lagging?
Yeah, it's lagging. I'm lagging.
I can tell.
I think so. Go ahead. Just run with it Ty catch up. Just run with Ty catch up. The show still goes on, so keep just run with.
Hey, I know what you mean. Remember that one time where my internet was like going in and out? It was like off on. I was like so embarrassed, but you know what?
Mine might lag a little bit too, so it's all good.
Oh my gosh! But look, like he said, the show must go on, and he held it down 100%. That's what being great partners and being. Look, yes, thank God. See. And won't he do it?
Sure.
All right, let's get the show on. Let's get it going.
All right.
I'm gonna since y'all are from the hometown, like since y'all are from Alabama, I'm gonna go ahead. Ferman, get it started.
Okay, awesome stuff. I hope I'm pitching up. I know I was lagging on my end earlier, but like I said, here on this platform, man, we all about to take this platform to the next level. We are about reaching the nations, of course, not just in DFW and Mobile, but outside state. So that's our common mission, our assignment here on the platform. But most importantly, being authentic, organic, and just being yourself. Like Relissa was explaining as well, because that what gets people attention is real, authentic, and just reach the soul of that person. And I know we're gonna be talking about the name of the episode called "The Rise, Real, and Raw Truth" here on this title episode. So we're gonna rise. We'll talk about the rhyme. We're gonna keep it raw truth, right? So I known Pat for so many years. He was doing gospel music for a long time, transitioned from the gospel to mainstream, of course. And I know a lot of times when you come from Alabama, is a Bible belt state, of course.
Sure.
Especially Mobile. Mobile, if you black, you went to a Baptist church, and then after that, you went to non-denominational, and we know it came from that. But we know that people take different paths in life, of course, right? But we know you transition from that to mainstream. When you go mainstream, they label you as being secular. You know, that's the term they use in church. Oh, you're a secular artist, or you did that. But music is music. I remember I had C-Now. Big shout out to C-Now. C-Now is a GOAT in Mobile, and I had him on the other platform years ago. And you know, he transitioned from doing street to gospel. They label him as being a gospel artist. And he said one thing: when you hear artists like the Jay-Z's and all them doing music, you don't hear them saying secular artists. They say artists. Same thing with China White. You know, China White was doing stuff with Lil Jon. I had China White on the other show, other platform some years ago. Great woman. And she talked about it as well, that they keep them in the box. And I know you are an artist. You're not just, what do you say about that, Pap, being labeled when you do certain genre of music? When it comes, I know you don't do.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm more so like I just like to be considered an artist, because I actually got some got an album dropping on Friday, and I actually have some faith-based songs on there. But you know, I don't want to be labeled like, you know what I'm saying, as gospel rap. You know what I'm saying? I just put the message out there, and how the people receive it, they receive it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like you, it's art. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all art, and I'm an artist for sure.
You want that? Lo, you want?
How long have you been doing it?
Say it again.
How long have you been working on your craft?
Oh my goodness. I've been writing since I was in third grade, just writing poetry, rhymes. I've been doing that since I was in third grade. I started producing probably around when I was 14, me and my brother. I just grew up in a house of music. Mom and dad played music. So like music was like pretty much the language, you know, of the house. So yeah, I've been doing music since I was about 14. I started recording in the studio when I turned 16, and it's just been up from there. Now the next question you're probably gonna try to ask me now, how old are you now, Pap Star? I'm 40. Well, I'll be 40 in May. But I don't feel it, man. I don't feel what people would feel at 40. Like I don't feel like that. I feel like music keep you young, you know what I'm saying? So and as you can kind of see now, kind of the OGs is kind of running the music game right now. You know, T.I. just dropped, Juvenile just dropped, you know, and then I seen even Trick Daddy just dropped something that was hot, you know what I'm saying? So I don't really think about age when I think about music. You know, you think about the rock stars, they rock out to late into their 70s, 80s, still on stage doing shows, you know what I'm saying, packing out stadiums. So I feel like music don't have an age, you know what I mean?
Well, I think I think for a lot of these kids in this generation, they have lost. I don't want to say lost the art of music, but the art of music have been kind of lost a lot, especially when it concerns technology. A lot of
Yeah,
people aren't using native instruments to, produce music anymore.
yeah,
It takes nothing to go ahead and download a program and, within your laptop and
yeah,
boop, 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 there you go. They're
yeah.
not
They got the AI now, the Suno. You can
exactly.
literally play the beat on your mouth, and you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Just do it how you want it to sound with your mouth, and
Yeah.
they'll make the whole beat for you. So you just kind of it's different times, most definitely. But I don't really worry about AI and things like that because I don't know. I just adapt with the time. That's pretty much how I roll. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, most definitely.
That is crazy.
But
I mean, so
also, go
are
ahead,
you
go ahead.
using a laptop?
yeah, for sure. yeah,
Just
yeah,
asking. Just asking.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
asking. I mean,
When I make
because
music,
it makes a
I use
difference. It makes
I
a
use a Mac.
difference.
Yeah, MacBook.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got a beat machine. I use Native Machine is the name of my
Hmm.
beat machine that I use. I use Logic Pro to record. I love Logic. Um, that's one of my favorite things to use as far as recording. I know a lot of people are very Pro Tools. A lot of engineers very into Pro Tools, but I don't know
Yeah.
Logic. I just work in Logic, and I mean I'm getting placed on TV, so it must work. You know what I'm saying? like
I mean, it makes a difference. I mean, when
yeah.
you have a program that literally make your music for you versus you actually making your own music,
Oh
it
yeah, I
makes
make my
a
own
difference.
music. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely make my own
So it
music.
makes a big old difference. I've lived in a household where I had a producer here living with music playing from morning to night on the weekend. So it was, oh God, Jesus, beats all day, every day. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, I was like, Jesus, I could
It's not
literally
it's
make,
not how it's made to look either.
woo,
When like people be like, "Well, let me go to the studio with you." I'm like, "You sure?" Because they think you turn everything is like, but they don't when they realize that you playing and looping the same thing over and over again, and
yeah.
they're like, "Oh, this is how
It's
you
not
do
as
it."
easy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
definitely not easy. I can say that. I tried it one time. I tried it. Well, I've recorded my voice, to be looped, but I've actually
yeah,
tried doing it and it
yeah,
was very difficult.
yeah,
And like I didn't have the passion for it. And if you don't have the passion for it, it really shows. So you
yeah,
gotta have a passion for it.
for sure.
So yeah. So yeah, kudos to you because it takes some time and patience.
Yes,
Time and patience.
But it does. And you know what? I know Pap and I know Larissa, I know you would
To
be
really
interested. He's
start from the
also,
beginning, have that yeah,
we go flagging.
I can hear you.
No,
I
you just
see,
popped that gig.
I hear you, firm.
Okay, because you was lagging. But we back. But this is also something I know you'd be interested in. Pap also into mental health as well. He's an advocate, Lo, for
Mm.
mental health as well. So I know you're also into the mental health arena as well. And he's got some stuff that he did with mental health. And we're gonna elaborate more on that as well. We know that the mental health thing has really been coming up. We know this is something that has never been talked about within our community
Yeah,
when it comes to mental health. And we know a lot of athletes, entertainers, not just them, but people that we see every day
yeah.
had dealt with some type of capacity of mental health. What got you off being an advocate for mental health, especially for our community? Because it's something you don't really talk about.
Yeah, I started with myself actually. Like I had a pretty bad breakdown in 2019, and I with the loss of my daughter, I lost my daughter. She was 11 months old, and I also was going through a divorce that same year. And I don't know, I just broke, man. I went into very deep depression, and
Mm.
the only way for me to really get out, I had to start like reading some books on mental health. You know what I mean? Like kind of like the self help books. Um, I started with that at first, and then I took a life coaching certification course. And the way it works is you can't really life coach someone else or give life coach advice to someone else if
Never
you
been
haven't
through.
gone through it yourself. You got to go through the
Mhm.
steps yourself.
Yeah.
And once I start going through the steps myself, that's when I started getting into sync licensing with the music, started getting my music on TV, and I started seeing the progress that the life coaching was talking about. You know, the small progress, not it wasn't huge, leaps that was happening. It's very small wins that I was getting, and I started seeing that in my life, and I started realizing that I can do this. You know what I'm saying? This is something I can do. Music is something I can pursue, and make a living off of. And I think from there, that's when I started getting out of my depression. Because a lot of times you get depressed because you don't see the results you want to see in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was one of my things. I was feeling like life was handing me an unfair
Right.
fate. You know what I'm saying? Especially when
Yeah.
I'm like, "Man, I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a good heart. I make mistakes, but geez, like God, like why is this happening? And but I start changing that to why is this happening is what does I need what do I need to learn from this? You know, and start becoming more empowered, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and taking more control of my life. The things I can't control, I start controlling because we can't control the weather, you know what I
Right.
mean? But we can control how we react to the weather, how we prepare
Right.
for the weather, you know what I mean? Um, and so when I started getting that mindset, that's when stuff started kind of taking off for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Mm.
man. That's something else because I know I went to a point in my life that nobody didn't know about. The whole depression thing, just all over the place, not yourself, and that's what it was. I remember when I went through my divorce, when it got finalized in 2017. And no, I still got my divorce certificate in my closet. I don't look at it, but anyway. But
Why do you
when I
think you
went,
don't look at it?
because it's something I should never did in the first place.
Mhm.
Because it cost me a lot of pain, cost me a lot of depression. Let me say something. When it comes to the Christian community, we put these facades on. We get on stage, we say the right things, but then if we leave the stage and if we leave that camera, whatever you want to say, them people, we go right back to that state of depression. You go right back to that state of being angry. You know what I'm saying? Lost, don't know where to go. And I remember I was at work one night and my ex-wife came up to the job and she was harassing me, her hounding me. You know what I'm saying? I got to get back to work because I don't want to lose my job. They can't see lose your job, but I work for the sheriff department. And I mean, after she left, I felt dizzy. I felt like I was gonna pass out. And then the nurse at the job checked my pressure. My pressure was sky high and stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And um, then I called out, went to the doctor, and then they were telling me to put me in some type of medication for anxiety. And I knew right then and there that was my answer to get out. Because you're not going to turn me into a zombie where I got to get addicted to anxiety medicine. I never took that medicine. I never took that medicine. That medicine at my dad's house, it was on pink pills. I threw that junk away. And I say, no, that's my answer to get out. Because I know that right there is going to lead me to a road of destruction. I remember my dad told me this. He said, son, what it is, you never got a chance to live your life. You went from being home to jump into a marriage, which some he told me never to do, and I didn't listen. And I did it anyway. But I lived, and I lost peace behind that. But I gained all that back by being obedient. And it's tough. So I understand. And I
Yeah.
never told them about that story, but yeah, but I'm not ashamed. I'm an open book. So
Yeah.
I think that sometimes, because and I'm a kind of jump into both things of what I want to say. So, Pat, I do believe what you said earlier really makes a big difference. I think as far as trying to assist somebody who has or who is struggling mentally, whether or not they are having or going through a psychosis or whatever the case may be, because a lot of people do go through psychosis and they do not know it. They don't even realize it. They a lot of times they don't know that they are going through a psychosis, and a lot of people go through spiritual psychosis. So I definitely believe that you have to kind of, in order for a person through, at least for me, my personal feelings, like how would someone who's never been married be able to tell me about my marriage? It doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you tell me how to be a mother if you've never been a mother yourself? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And yeah, it just does not. As far as just the mental health part, like Ferman do know that is what I plan on doing here in the next couple of months, within the next year, working psychology, and I am obtaining my bachelor's in psychology, but I need to make some money, so I am doing some other stuff to do that. So you got to have stuff lined up as well. But the whole mental health realm, as far as we are concerned, our community is concerned, I don't necessarily believe that it has affected younger people. I think they are very much aware of mental health, especially how much it is pushed on younger people, and how they are huge advocates for mental health. But I think it's driven in kind of a wrong direction. Everybody has had their share of stories of what they have gone through. I went through something myself. I went through my own breakdown myself. It had a lot to do with hormones. I'm probably I'm the oldest among y'all. Okay, I'm your elder. Call me your elder. Okay, that's what I am. So. So, but I have had, I've gone through that, and I did not realize that hormonally that made a huge difference. And although for years I taught classes and courses within my workplace about mental health, I did not realize I was going through my own mental health challenge. And it did, I was going through it, and it was literally tearing my life apart, and I did not know it. And it was grief. It was just things. It was just so like I was like, but because of my age group, I'm a Generation X baby, raised by a baby boomer. And when we talk about community and who, like how it doesn't really how it's not really talked about. It's really not talked about in our age group. And that's how I see it, because we were taught, when we were younger, can't go through, God is going to, he's not going to put on nothing more on you than you can handle. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, do I gotta die first before I'm able to handle it? Like, do I have to die? Like, what in the world?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So,
for sure. I definitely used to say like God, do I always got to be sitting at the edge, like looking over the edge and almost about to fall out before you come? You know what I'm saying? I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah, dang. Do I gotta jump first and have every broken bone in my body? Jesus Christ. Like, what do I have to do to get over it? So, but I do believe that finding the appropriate help and recognizing it, I think a person has to recognize it first in order to assist themselves, especially if they don't have the support that that they should, or that they probably thought that they could have had, or they just don't have any support at all, because there's a lot of people that just do not have support out there. So, it's very important to learn how to help yourself, because in my situation, that's what had to happen. I was the person within the family that everybody depended on to do this, to help that, to make sure this is taken care of. Well, when I needed help, where were y'all? You know.
Right.
But
Right.
you know, if I'm the person that's always doing everything, they couldn't see it. They couldn't
Yeah.
see it at all. So I had to think about that. Well, you know what? I have my boundaries too. I have my weaknesses too. I had to be vulnerable myself in order to even get help. So, and I didn't recognize that. So it's amazing when a person is able to recognize that within themselves. And I commend you and you too, Ferman, for recognizing that, especially with men, and talking about it, because a lot of men do not talk about it. A lot of men will suffer in silence, and
Yeah.
that's not right.
Yeah,
You
we
guys
do it
are
because we don't want to appear. Vulnerability as a man, it can like it can it can bite you. It can come back to bite you in ways like so. We will sit in silence. You know what I'm saying? Because we
yeah,
don't want to be vulnerable and we don't want to appear to be weak. You know what I'm saying? That appearance of weak, and that's when people start sniffing you out. Like, oh, I smell fear. You know what I'm saying? I smell some weakness here. Did somebody can
hmm,
take advantage of? Did somebody can use and throw in your face? You know what I mean? Did somebody can use to break you down? Like, we don't want to get that off. You know what I mean? So, but there are safe spaces available. You know what I mean? Where you can talk. Um, and if you can find those safe spaces, man, I'm telling you, it's freedom in being vulnerable to the right people.
Right.
Like I said, in the right spaces for sure.
I'm glad you
yeah,
brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. You mentioned safe space. Not to feel vulnerable or whatever. And no, because that feel like you being weak and you're a punk and you're a sissy and all this other stuff. But also in trusting someone, the things you're going through. And you mentioned that somebody could throw it back in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I always sense with people. I noticed that you could find in someone. Matter of fact, I see people find, and I see the people do that. Well, I don't know why people do that for. When they get angry, upset, that's when they want to start exposing everybody else's secrets
Yeah.
to the world out of anger. And I don't know why you do that. And that's why I understand why people are afraid to open up to a person. Like, okay, if I open up to you, can I trust you? Can I trust you with things I deal with? Can I trust you with my secrets? Because at first of all, I'm sharing this stuff because I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But will you throw it back in my face because you got mad at me or you did out of anger? Now I'm hurt. Now I don't trust you no more. So what I'm gonna have to do, I'm gonna go into hibernation mode. That means I'm gonna shut myself completely down from you because you showed me I can't trust you because you do something in my face that I can find you. Does that make sense?
oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't think it just affects men. A lot of women go through that on a daily. I just think that a lot of women are expected to endure and
Right.
endure way more. Well, the society norms
Mm-hmm.
place those that endurement on women because they are supposed to be quote unquote caretakers. But that is why we have women today, right now, that are single, that want to never get married, that do
Yeah.
not want children, that do not want that responsibility. Those things that when I grew up, it's so weird. It's so weird that we're talking about this. But I remember when I was 20, like as a teenager, I never wanted to get married. Like, and people used to look at me like that was weird. Now I'm about to be 46, okay? And people was like, really? You never want to get married? I didn't even want kids. I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to work for a government agency. I wanted to like I wanted to join the FBI. I wanted like it was so many. I wanted to be a doctor. It was so many other things that I thought about and wanted to do with my life. And being a mother and being a wife was not one of them. They were not a part of it. Well, you know, that is not what God said. God said, well, you were going to be a wife and you're going to be a mother. And I absolutely loved both. I can't say that I didn't. I loved being a wife. I loved being a mother, especially a mother, you know, um, because that's just in my nature. That's who I am. When I love hard. And then when I take care of a person, I take care of a person. But, you know, things change, people change, you know, and the things that you do. And somebody told me years ago, just because you do something doesn't mean that the next person or that person that you do those things for, that doesn't mean that they have to do the same thing in return, or they will. And so I had to learn that, because that whew, now when I tell you that hit that was like a slap, like that, how dare you slaps, like what that you see on the Asian movies, like that type of slap. And that was a slap in my life. Yes. Yes. So I was like, damn, like, yeah. And when I learned that, I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
But,
and then I had to learn that lesson very hard.
Like learning lessons, that's what it's all about. I know, Pat, you mentioned that you had went through a divorce, and how did you cope with that? Because I know when I went through mine, it was just a piece of paper. You sign that paper, and the lawyer called you and said, "Hey, your wife came and signed the paper." And the first thing, hey, how you feel about that? At the end of the day, I was relieved. But then I took it to get my life together and get to learn who Ferman is. I mean, that's why I ended up transitioning from Mobile to here, because I wanted to start all over again, start fresh. And I know everybody deal with divorces differently. I know it's something that's now popular, but how did you cope with that once that paper was finalized?
I mean,
something tell me that your music helped you along.
Yeah, music success, like, is what started helping me. Honestly, music, seeing my works, because you gotta understand, like, my divorce, I had been with my ex-wife. We were married at that point for 11 years, and then she was my high school sweetheart too. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we had been together since I was 16. So it was almost like a grieving process. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was almost like a death. Then I had to figure out, who am I without this person?
Without her. Yeah.
Like, I'm used to doing things, you know what I'm saying, like being a husband. So my life revolved around family and being a husband. So now I'm not a husband anymore. Like, who am I? And I had to figure out, like, what shows do I like to watch? You know what I'm saying? Like, not the stuff that we watch together. Like, I had to figure out, like, what I like, the foods that I like, the way I like to cook, the way you know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, yeah.
It was a full discovery. So once I understood that, okay, I'm grieving, and once I understood that, okay, I need to kind of find me. I had to get into me. When I started getting into me, you know what I'm saying? After I had to get through the depression first. You know what I'm saying? After I kind of got through the depression, and like you said, I started getting into the music, started getting back into music.
Yeah.
I started seeing some success. And I was like, okay, let's find out what you like, Pap. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you like to go? Where the restaurants you like to eat at? What shows you like to watch? What car you want to drive? You know what I'm saying? Like, simple stuff. Because, like I said, everything was what helped me cope.
Getting back to basics.
Was learning, getting back to myself. You know what I'm saying? And which involved music, which involved mental health. Like, I learned, I didn't even know I liked mental health as much as I did until I had a breakdown myself. I was trying to figure out what is wrong with me. Like, why can I not break out there? Why is it that I can't get up out the bed and take a bath? Like, what's wrong with me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
When I start reading up on it, I'm like, oh, I like this. Maybe I should, you know what I'm saying? And now that I've gone through something, maybe I can help somebody else, you know what I'm saying? And give back. Because it's really no better fulfillment than, like, giving back, like helping someone, you know what I'm saying? And, like, them genuinely receiving that help, like, does something for you. It almost helps you. And so it's like a reciprocal energy type deal. So yeah. Hope I answered the question.
What did you going into your success? I hear you talk. Tell me more about television success. I want to hear more about that. How did that start? How did it happen?
I had a friend. I'm gonna shout him out. Shout out to Demetrius. We worked at Hearst together. And then years later, we kind of reconnected. And and he hit me up. And I was, like I said, I'm kind of down then, but I was kind of coming out of it, but I was still kind of like down. But he knew I did music, and he was like, "Have you ever heard of sync?" I was like, "Sync? Like, what you talking about? Like a sink? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you wash your hands in, wash dishes in? What you mean a sink?" You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, "No, man, sync licensing. Like, you take your music and then they sync it to film, TV shows, film." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that's what that was called." You know what I mean? Like, I thought that like if your music was just super hot, then
so
like,
it's more like jingles.
No, it's not like.
So
jingles.
is it like jingles?
No. It's like you create a song that fits a scene for a movie show, or you create your music like your singles or your albums, whatever you creating, but you make it catered more toward where it can be fit in a film. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a club scene, then you're making a club song. You know what I'm saying? You're making a song that's gonna give the energy and the feel of you in the club. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm so curious. So how do you do your rights? Do you copyright your music, or are you trademark?
You can copyright it. There are many ways, because there are music libraries. So once the guy told me about sync, it was a course that I had to take. So once I took the course and start understanding, I can submit my music to a music library. A lot of music libraries, they take music exclusively. So they own the rights to your music that you're making for them, but you get the writer's share in your royalties. So that's one way. And then also you can go through an agency and you can do your music non-exclusive. I work both. Non-exclusive means that you own the rights to your own music. And basically the agency gets a cut of the upfront money that's being paid, and then you get to recoup all the back end for yourself. With the music library, for the most part, you're splitting the back end with the music library, specifically your publishing. That goes to the music library. So it's kind of like a label, in a way, kind of like a record label, in a way. But
I remember my I don't even know what to call this man.
The situation.
He's still my husband. I mean, he's still my
husband. My bad.
I mean, he's still my husband. I mean, Lord Jesus, like it's been 26 years. So that tells you how long it has been. So I understand about the grieving part, stuff like that. But he was big time into music. And he was, now I'm gonna give credit where it's due, because it is due. When I tell you he is a genius when it comes to producing music. And that was one of those things that really attracted me towards him, was how he was able, like he could rap his ass off. And I was like, boy, you rap? Really? Like if he was to meet him, like it was like, no way. Like, no, you rapping? And then he got into producing. So the producing was like, he was really, really good. But I remember this, I stayed out of it. I didn't, it's, sometimes some people don't want their partner involved in something that they are doing because they want to, I guess, I don't know, show the world that what they're doing. I guess, I don't know, who knows. But I just know he had this one deal with like Switch House, and I just know when I read what I read, I was like, boy, this is your life. Like, maybe you need to reread it again. This don't look like a great deal. Like, this is not, it's not a good deal. And you won't get your royalties like you wanted. Like, I knew some stuff, and I could have known more if he wanted me to. But I did not want to get involved, especially if it's your baby, that's your baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get involved. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be there to support you at the end and give you your, give you your flowers when you make it. Because I had every, and I still think he have, if he wanted to get into it right now, I still think he have the ability to do it, because he's that good. Like, he's really, really good at what he does. But I do get, when it comes to publishing and all that stuff, man, you can get screwed when it comes to that, man. You can get screwed. How can you
what I do like, but what I like about actually what I love about sync licensing and the business aspect paperwork, like every song that's delivered comes with paperwork. And what you're reading is not in some foreign, like like you're reading something foreign. You know what I mean? Like it's very plain, where you can really
layman
understand
terms.
it. Yeah, very layman.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
So
I'm
it's
not
sync,
saying
SINK or SINC? SYNC?
Yeah,
Sync. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Sync license.
So everything is in layman's term. It's easy for people to read it, to understand what they are reading, and it's not like you're
and
in
even
it
if
for
I
life.
find something that might be a little tricky, I have it. But let's just say I did. It's such a great community of people that do it. You can pass your hey, can you take a look at this contract and see if you see anything, kind of iffy on it, or like it's a community of people that do it once you tap into the community. And like I said, it's not like the industry. The industry is about your image. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you have to put the message out that they want you to put out. You know what I'm saying? And what you're doing is just putting it out in your way. But they kind of control your message. They control your image. Like Sync isn't like that at all. You know what I mean? Not that I don't have an image. You know what I'm saying? I have my own style and things like that. But I own my image. You know what I'm saying? And really, they don't really care about what you look like. They want to make sure, can you create the music that's going to fit for this theme song? Can you create the music that's going can go in this New Balance commercial? While these guys are playing basketball, can you give us the feel somebody playing basketball? You know what I'm saying? Can you do this Fortnite commercial? You know what I'm saying? Like they want to know if you got the skills. You know what I'm saying? And the talent. And I like that. You know what I'm saying? It's very much so talent and skill heavy. And if you got those skills and you can cook up what they want, it's like the sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Really.
Like is it my internet? Okay, there you go. Well, you guys, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but my internet is frozen. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you too.
Okay. So you know what? I might have to check that out, Pat, because it might be some stuff here that's on that I still got that this producer right here is gonna might need to submit. I might just do that myself.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Don't nobody know. Look, get it copywritten myself.
I'm gonna be at South by Southwest. That's like pretty much the biggest conference that they have in pretty much the biggest conference that they have in Austin or in Texas, or really in the United States. And I'll be there and I'll be talking Sync. She go out? I was gonna say she wanted like invite anybody. You know what I mean? If you want to come, it's free. It's being sponsored. I believe by Southwest is sponsored. I believe it's BMI is sponsored as well. I gotta confirm that. But that's what I was told. But anyway, it's a free event. That event is free. And also music supervisors will be there. I always encourage people because people tell me all the time, why don't you just teach? I like doing it more so in the setting of I like doing it more of a broader setting, like at a conference or something like that, because after the information is given, you can immediately act on the information, because guess what? The people are there wanting to place your music. They're already there at the conference, you know what I mean, where you can pitch it to direct. So I like those settings a whole lot better, to be honest.
Man, and that's what's up, man. I do got a question for you. This dealing with the mental health and the artist's mind. So my first one is going to be, as an artist, how do you protect your mental health as in the industry that constantly judge and critique your work?
First off, I as an artist, I know that I have a product. Even though it's my babies, this product is personal to me. This product has come from my mind, my heart, my soul. I understand that I have a product, and I also understand I know who I am. When you get to a point of, I hate to use the word mastery, because sometimes people think that mastery means cap. Mastery just means that you know what you're doing to the point to where you don't even got to think about, you know what I'm saying? Like what you do, it can really just flow. And once you get to a part of mastery and you know yourself, you know you have a good product, it really don't matter what somebody say, you know what I'm saying, about what you got. You know, criticism, constructive criticism is always welcome. You know, I always welcome constructive criticism because I'm always trying to get better. However, you know, you can tell the difference between constructive criticism and just somebody just hating, or people hating and just, or it just might not be their style. You know, I ain't everybody cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? My music ain't for everybody. When you understand and accept those things, it's easier for you not to be swayed by the comments of others. You know, so honestly, I keep my mental health by understanding who I am as a person, you know what I'm saying? Who I am as an artist, who I am as a producer. And the deeper I delve into who I am, the more confidence I have, and the more I'm really not swayed by the opinions of others.
Yeah, I like that answer we got. That's what I'm leading up to. Having has music ever been therapy for you? Can you share a time when creating a song helped you do something personal? Do you ever see that?
Recent. I got a song. Well, I was telling you that I have a song on the album that's people say it's a gospel song, you know what I mean? But it's called Let Go, Let God, you know, and it's about letting go. And I talk about letting go, not just from letting go, even from worrying as a father, worrying about bills, worrying about, you know, things going on with your children, to even letting go of relationships, things that are toxic for you and that are actually, like what you said, toxic relationships actually take a toll on your physical body. You know what I mean? Blood pressure be high, your skin ain't clear, the cortisol levels is up, your face is all puffy, and you know what I'm saying? Ulcers, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that have happened to your physical body, and man, I didn't even know the song was as prophetic as it was, because I mean, I didn't know. I ain't even trying to delve too much in my personal life, but I'll just say this: I didn't know the song was as prophetic as it was, because some of the lyrics I was saying, it was actually, it felt like it wasn't even coming from me. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can say it. Like, felt like the higher power was definitely operating through me when I made that song. And then after I heard the song, because I don't really write down lyrics, I pretty much just go in and just whatever come off the top of my head, I usually go with my first instinct and say them. So I actually had to listen to my songs and learn my songs after I made them. And I'm listening to this song and I'm like, I'm in tears, man. I'm like, God, I gotta give this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm going through right now, the situation I'm in, I have to give you control of this. You know what I'm saying? Because if I continue to take on this weight and take on this burden, my physical body is gonna shut down. Like, I literally was in the ER, you know, couldn't even breathe, like asthma, asthma flaring up. You know what I'm saying? Asthma flare-ups and stuff like that. And it was due to stress. You know what I mean? Just straight up. Due to just overwhelming stress of the situation I was in. So I'll say recently, man, music is definitely a therapy and a release. You know, and like I said, sometimes you'll release things in music. You don't even know you don't even know yourself. You release them when your spirit man knows, your subconscious knows. You know what I'm saying? Your soul knows. But like sometimes you don't even realize that you're releasing. You know what I'm saying? And starting fresh.
Sure. Yeah, okay, I like that. I like that, man. I mean, that's what I'm gonna ask you too. A lot of creative deals with anxiety or depression in silence. What advice would you give to an artist who are struggling but afraid to speak up?
About anxiety and depression, with anxiety and depression.
Right. You know, you feel like we're in prison, that mental prison. Like you can't, you know, we close ourselves in, but
I would say I am very big on things like therapy, things that are made available to us. If you can get therapy, find a good therapist, someone that you can trust, somebody you feel like they can identify with you, because some people would rather have a male, some people would rather have a female, some people would rather have someone that's of the same color, the same race, whatever it is. Therapy, I will put that out there. Also, but also everybody can't afford therapy. And everybody insurance don't cover therapy. Okay, so if you can't get therapy, there are tons of free material on YouTube. There are books, but that's what started me. Books. Earl Nightingale, Jim Rohn,
Okay.
John Maxwell, Les Brown, E.T. Thomas. These are guys that I would listen to when I could not afford therapy or couldn't get to a book. You know, I would get on YouTube and listen to what they had to say. You know, it's always good to listen to some people that have been through what you are going through, and they've conquered it. You know what I'm saying? They made it out and can reach their hand out and grab you and pull. So I would say if you can't find a therapist, listen to those materials and find you a safe space. Like, it is nothing like having a safe space. And like I say, therapy is a safe space. Yourself can be a safe space if you're able to coach yourself. What I mean by coach yourself, listen to YouTube, listen to read those books, those audio books, and the things that you're hearing, put them into practice. Don't just listen to the stuff. You know what I mean? Put it into practice. And that's the hardest thing. The work is the hardest part. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's easy to listen to it and it sounds good and it gets you revved up and woo, I can do this. But then when the pressure come on, when all that's gone, like when you say when you're at church, everything's good when everybody's around, but then when you're by yourself, that's when it's time to put those things into practice. Journal, get you some paper, get you a pen. The things that are in your mind, you can't see that stuff. You know what I'm saying? The things that are in your mind and you battling with in your mind, get you a pen and bring that stuff into the realm where we can see it. Put it on paper. Write those thoughts down and release it in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? Release those things. Get that stuff out your mind. A lot of times, like you said, we have these things caged in our minds, but there's a door. There are avenues. There's journaling. You know what I'm saying? There are things you can write down, things you can say. You can, even if you get your phone and do a voice record. Hey, if you talk to yourself, I'm not feeling good today. Today I don't feel good. I don't feel right. Get that stuff out you. You know what I'm saying? That way you won't be holding that weight. I'm sorry, man.
No, you good.
I just mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. I mean, it does. I mean, it been there. I mean, because I'm actually this. What's something people misunderstand about artists and mental health? What is the number one thing that people misunderstood about artists and mental health?
Man, so you go to my social media and you look at my accomplishments and you see how I post. You know, you see me pushing on social media. You see the other artists pushing on social media. Social media will make it look like and appear that everything is all right. Mm-hmm. A lot of times we're putting our best stuff on social media.
We do.
And what happens is people look at social media and they're like, oh, that artist is fine. He doing good. Look what he doing. He doing all right. But they don't realize that person could be fighting a secret battle. You know what I'm saying? And that social media sometimes puts out a misunderstanding of artists and what's actually going on outside Facebook, outside Instagram, outside Twitter, outside Threads. You know what I'm saying? So I would say the biggest misconception for artists would be what you see, you know, on social media versus what's going on in real life.
Yeah, and I know it's like I said, people deal with stuff every day. And I'm gonna ask you this, and it may sound I don't think it's controversial. Do you feel, in your own opinion, that church has failed us in some way? Well, I think failed us some way because people are still dealing with these issues. Like, we go in church, we do the song, we hoop and holler, and then as we leave that atmosphere, we go right back to our reality. Do you feel like it has failed us in some way, capacity? You're just being real.
Woo! Well, you asked some stuff. I'm gonna say that when it comes to church, organized religion, there's no such thing as a perfect church. Okay.
Right.
Reason why, because it's people that run them, and we are imperfect beings.
Right.
So I don't want to say that do I think church has failed us. I do believe church could do a better job. I'll say that. I think that churches could do a better job at the way they handle things as far as like mental health and things like that. I do believe that, and actually having an open mind to some of life's challenges. Okay. I also do believe that you cannot rely solely on church. You know,
right.
Church is what, maybe Sunday, Wednesday. If you're having some, some type of special service, and you might have a Saturday service or a Friday service, something like that. But for the most part, church is maybe twice a week. So you can't rely solely on church. There's work that you have to do yourself, and I do believe that a lot of Christians, a lot of believers, a lot of people who practice religion rely heavily on the building. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think in that could lead to upsets and failure for sure on the individual's part if that's what they're doing.
I mean, I agree with that because we rely on stuff so much. I love in the scripture, and the scripture lets us know that ye are gods, children of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Jesus said that they wanted to stone him. Now, if you tell a person today, the scripture says, I'm God. He did say we are God. It's in the Bible. But then, they'll cast you out. Oh, you saying you God now. But I'm going with the scripture say. Because we were never taught our identity or who we are. You know what I'm saying? We are these created beings. We're made in the image of God, as the Bible say. So we are these created beings. We create our own world. We create our own universe. But we were never taught that. We was taught, you go to heaven, go to church, give your tithes and all this other stuff. You're going to be blessed. But we never, in my opinion, Pap, we never learned our identity. Like, I understand about salvation, but I didn't know who I am. Not a church member, not a Christian. I didn't know who I am. Because if I'm made in his image, as he said, then I didn't know who I am. I need to go back to the source. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that opinion. And like I said, what we're talking about is very subjective. So if it hit you, it hit you. If it don't, you know what I'm saying? It's it's kind of like a grain of salt. I definitely agree with that. A lot of things too I hear in church, heard in church that I don't necessarily agree with. Like I would hear them say, well, God, I'm not, man, I can't believe we talk about this. But like, God, I'm not worthy of your love. I'm so unworthy. Like they actually worship songs that with these words.
Exactly.
Yeah, your love, the love that you have, I'm unworthy of it. Like I never I feel like I am worthy of God's love. If you created me, you know what I'm saying? You made me.
In his image, yeah.
You put me in this image. I am worthy of your love. I am worthy of the grace that is given to me and that's available to me every single day. I believe I am worthy. So I don't like that's something I don't like, that sometimes, some churches kind of push the message that we're undeserving of what God gives us, the love he gives us, the blessings, and because of mistakes that we make. Like God knew everything. He knew how we was gonna be, the mistakes we was gonna make, the cuss words that's gonna slip out. You know what I'm saying? Like, the pornography that you sneak and watch. He knew you gonna do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like he know every hair that's on your head. Now I'm bald headed up under this turban. You know what I'm saying? But even the little stubbles that come up, God know the number. So he already know. He know us.
Right.
So feel like that we are worthy of God's grace. We are worthy of his love, and we're worthy of the strength that's made available to us. Like it's made available to us, and I feel like we're worthy of it. So that's, like I said, this is my opinion. I live by this, and so far, the way I'm living and the understandings that I'm getting now of God and my personal relationship with him, they are starting to prove true. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to see my life change
That's
because
it.
the belief, you know what I mean? And as long as I'm seeing that proof, as long as I'm seeing God change and move in my life, I'm gonna go with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's why I say a lot of times I may say, "What up, God? How you doing, God?" Because that's why I'm going by what the scripture says. The scripture say,
Yeah,
"Ye are God, children of the
yeah,
Most High." So when I
yeah,
call another man, "What up, God?" Because I'm going
yeah,
to what He said in His Word. Now the
yeah,
average person, they'll they they know, but they'll run from that because one, they wasn't taught that, and this is
yeah,
in your Bible. This is what it
yeah,
says.
yeah,
They say, "I made you kings and priests."
yeah,
So I'm a God. I'm a king.
yeah,
So I have to start operating like that on what you said in your word, not what man say.
yeah,
Man would tell you you unworthy, you a sinner saved. We just sinner saved by grace, and but you go right back to your reality. But it is what it is. But that's another
yeah,
broadcast.
yeah,
But you do have a new album coming out, of course. I
yeah.
know how. So, what can we expect on the new album? Do you have any features on the album? Do you have any other producers you work with on this album? And what's so special about this album?
Well, the album, I had to really think about the title of the album. But the album, based on the way the songs are on there and the way the project came together, I named it Mr. Pap Star, and the reason being is because this album is really me. Like, and what I mean by me is they're my thoughts. There are things that I've gone through in this life. There are things that I'm actually manifesting for my life. Um, and it's just a full replication of me, my inner thoughts. Um, from the extreme to the real life. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that this album represents me. This is the first album. This is actually my first album that I put out as Pap Star. I have made and produced plenty of albums for other people, plenty of projects for other people, plenty of projects for libraries, music libraries, TV and film. But this is the first time that I made an album for myself. I would like to shout out some people too. Chaotic Beats produced most of this album. I don't have one song that I produced on this project actually, because I wanted to really take the artist role and be able to indulge in that. Sometimes producing and doing the artist, it takes a toll a little bit, especially when you're doing the whole project like that. And in respect to any producer / artist that does that, mad respect. Because like I said, I've kind of delved in that, but I've never made a full project like a 13 track project like this. So I want to shout out Chaotic Beats. I want to shout out my brother. He was also co-produced a track on my album. I want to shout out Max Payne. He also produced a song on this album. So I got 3 different producers that I work with on this project. I also have 3 features. That's crazy. I didn't even think about it. So something about that 3 because it's dropping on the 3rd month. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's on the 6th, which that's 3 twice. I got 3 producers that I work with. Oh, and Quan. I'm sorry. No, never mind. Because Quan, he actually co-produced a song too. So I have 4 producers. I'm about to start preaching on that 3. But Quan, shout out to him. And I had 3 features on Tribe Mafia featured on the song. They're really big in the sync arena. So I was blessed to be able to get a feature from him. Justin Aaron, we have tracks also in sync together. So I was Justin Aaron blessed a track doing some vocals, some singing, beautiful singing voice. And my brother from Mobile, Big Chosen, he spells it Chosen, CHOXAN. And he's an amazing up and coming artist, one of the dopest lyricists that I know that's in Mobile, and I was honored to have him on the track. So yeah, man, it's a real movement. Like it's a whole movie. Like honestly, it's 13 tracks, and I feel like every track can actually hold its own weight. I pretty much try to put singles, bunch of singles as a project, and they all are cohesive. So each song can hold its own weight as a single, if need be, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, awesome, man. I'm gonna ask you this. What's that one piece of gear or software you can't live without?
I think we talked about it earlier. Logic Pro. Like Logic Pro is what I record my vocals in. Logic Pro is what I make my beats in. There's a lot of gear that I can substitute and do it out. Software I can kind of substitute, but Logic Pro is it's my baby. I've been working with Logic Pro for a long time. And like I said, it's not about it's called a DAW. Whatever you're recording in is usually referred to as a DAW. You got Pro Tools, you got Ableton. I don't even know if they still use Reasons, but Reasons is one. You got Fruity Loops.
That's still around.
It's called something else. We called it Fruity Loops back then, but I forgot what it's called now. But it's basically Fruity Loops. But it's called something else now. They elevated it. They changed the name of it, and I can't remember what it is. I'm really showing my age when I say Fruity Loops. FL Studio. FL Studio is what it's called now.
Okay.
But yeah, you got a lot of different DAWs. You got Suno now, that's out. BandLab is what my children use to record like on their phones and tablets and off their laptop and stuff like that. So it's a lot of DAWs out there. But Logic Pro, that's my baby. That's what I like to use. It's very user friendly, straight to the point. It's quick, and you can get active real quick in Logic Pro. So yeah.
And that's what's up. And I'm gonna ask you this too. What's one thing you wish more people understood about being a producer?
Just I think people should understand that production, a great producer is like a great chef. I'm a foodie, so I like to compare music and food a lot. Like when you're producing for someone else, you really have to be a person that can be in tune with another person, because you got to be able to almost like be in their head in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to synergize with that person. And so before you can even produce for someone, you have to be able to hear what people are saying and feel what people are saying and what they're wanting. And then you have to be able to present that to them in the way that they're wanting it in order for them, because you got a lot of artists that are real picky. You know what I'm saying? Most artists are actually like super picky. So you can be off on one thing and they'll throw off their whole vibe and then they don't even want to record. You know what I'm saying? So being a producer, man, is a very tasking job. Not only that, being a producer is like you everything, because not only do you have to know how to produce, you have to know how to engineer, because you can't make a beat. You can make a fire beat, but you ain't mix it right and it sounds like trash. You know what I'm saying? To somebody it's trash, but it ain't that the beat was trash, is that the mix wasn't right. So you got to learn how to be an engineer. You got to learn how to master. You know what I mean? You got to learn how to do plugins. You got to be a semi-computer nerd. You know what I mean? When you're having computer problems, you got to go in there and figure out what's going on. Or my computer needs RAM. That's why it's lagging. It's a lot that come with production that necessarily doesn't come with being an artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very tasking, and like Queen said, you got to have a lot of patience. Like you got to have like 100% patience. Like because the moment your patience start lacking, then it starts to reflect in the music. It starts reflecting on the client that you're working with, or if you produce it for yourself, like in your own music. You know what I'm saying? So it's very tasking. I ain't gonna lie. Take a lot of energy to be a producer. That's why a lot of producers, like you see them, they actually make more money sometimes than the artists. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's why they stay in the background. You know what I'm saying? Because they like, I don't need to be out front when I can sit in the back, make my money, and don't have to worry about nobody commenting on me and making memes about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just produce this music. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
But I know being a producer, you're an artist. And I mean, you're an artist. You know what I'm saying? And I know,
Sure.
How do you go about having the right vocals on your track? Because at the end of the day, some people could be garbage, some people could be trash. And I know when you put your 1,000% blood, sweat, tears into your sound, you want to make sure the artist it go hand in hand. You feel me?
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure. I like to pick the artists that I personally collab with. I like for them to already have, for the most part. Sometimes I see somebody in their raw state, and I'm able to be like, that can be something. You're like, if we work with this, that can be something. But when I come down to collabing, personally, like I like for the artist to already have some type. I would prefer for the artist to have some type of experience themselves. That's how you kind of guarantee. Like, for example, Tribe Mafia. They're on a song called Desperado. I just met Tribe Mafia. But because of I went and heard their music, then I saw that, wow, they've gotten crazy placements. You know what I'm saying? I was able to trust that collaboration based on their track record. I didn't have to give them direction of, I need you to say this on the song. I need you to say that on the song. I need you. And the reason why is because they have a track record. This is what they do. They're masters at the craft. And I really like to collab. If I'm collabing with somebody on my music that I'm putting out that's going to represent me, I like to collab with people that are at a mastery level that I'm on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, that's kind of like how I pick my collabs, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm actually, as being a producer, it's all about being honest, right? Being honest. We work with these artists. Do you always keep it 1,000 with the artist? I mean, when I say keep 1,000, don't sugarcoat anything. Don't walk around eggshells. Like, I'm coming here to do a task. I'm coming here to do a service. I'm coming here to serve purpose, and I'm not here to waste no time. I don't want my time wasted. I don't want to waste your time. Do they ever get like that in the studio? Because I've never been in the studios. I'm
more like that now. I wasn't at first though. At first, I would let things slide, and like I would do things with artists that I'd be like, man, this kind of ain't matching, but like, this it's a learning experience for them, because you gotta think too. You never know how what you're doing with the artist that may not be or know as much as you when it comes down to music, but you collab with them. You never know how that can like change their trajectory and help them in the future. So you kind of got to, like I said, you gotta be led by your spirit too, because sometimes, you might hear somebody and, like I said, they might not match you, so to speak, but then they'll ask you to jump on their song. Can you jump on my song? You collab with me, and they'll pay you a price, or whatever the collab, and so you collab with them. You never know how that can be like the fire that they need for them to go to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So it's a slippery slope, but I know back in the day I was definitely more lenient with that. Now, so I'm really about my time and like valuing my time. I don't have a lot of it, you know what I'm saying? I got kids, that I need to be, spending time with and creating a life for. They really looking up to me right now. As far as dad, like what's the next move? You know what I'm saying? My kids are starting to get older. My oldest is 17. She'll be grown. At the end of the year, or consider grown, 18 years old. So I don't have a lot of time to play around when it comes down to experimenting. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm very intentional this season of my life when it comes down to my time, for sure.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I'm with you 1,010 on that, because I'll be 44 next month, April 23rd. I'll be 44 years old, and I understand.
You don't look 44, my brother. Not at all.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. By the grace of the Most High. But I was reading on something, man, and I'm still doing a lot of studying on the chromosome, the telomere. The telomere is a cap that keeps all your chromosomes, keep us from aging the way we do. I'm still studying on that. So, but
put me on game. I ain't trying. Hey, look, I'm trying to stay young too. I'm trying to be like Pharrell and what Lenny Kravitz. He about 60. Still look. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be on that type of time. So
right, I know. I look at Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters. Oh, he 80 years old. That man don't even look like he 80 years old. But we get a lot of people say, well, they got money, they could do that. Nah, you just gotta. It's mindset too. but I'm still learning on that. But I'm gonna ask you this too. How do you evolve your sound with each project while still staying true to yourself?
And that's a good question. That's a very good question. Um, I think I found my honestly, I actually found my sound probably in the last 4 years, like maybe about 4 years ago is when I found the sound that I wanted to kind of stick with. Um, yeah, I want to say about 4 years ago I found the sound, and you know, as you mature in art, your voice actually changes. Singers really go through it. I'm a melodic artist, so
Okay.
I kind of understand to a certain extent. Well, I'm not really a belter or singer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but even as I know myself, my voice has changed from how it was when I was 16. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so, but I've been able to, when I start hearing and feeling my voice change, oh, I'm able to go into a lower register. Let me experiment with this lower register. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and oh, I'm not able to hit those notes or go high as I used to. So let me adjust my songs. Let me adjust the keys of my song. Let me you know, have more bass in my songs. Things like that. You'll start learning how to tweak your sound based on how your voice is evolving. And so it's a forever process. You know, you're always kind of, I won't say changing your sound, but you always kind of like evolving your sound in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, I think if I make another album, when I make another album after this, I'm pretty sure that it'll be some things I might experiment vocally. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't touch on this previous album. And that's what I like about projects. I think people have gotten away from that too, because now everything is kind of, in a way, it's starting to sound the same. But you notice
Yeah.
that the people that are sounding different, like I know, like Big S the Plug, his voice is like real. It's just different. And when he
Yeah.
hit, he took off. You know what I'm saying? Glorilla, she has a very, like, you can't mimic. You know what I'm saying? Well, I hear people now kind of, it was an artist that I thought was Glorilla, and it wasn't. The Hype Me Up song. I thought that was Glorilla, but you still, she got her own sound. And so even if somebody else is sounding like her, they're gonna be like, oh, that sound like Glorilla, because she the one that invented that sound. She started that
Right.
sound. You see what I'm saying? So like T-Pain, he got a sound that he started. So I think the artists that have that, Michael Jackson got his own sound. Like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Anybody you
Yeah.
feel like mimicking Michael Jackson, you're gonna be like, oh, that sound like Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like developing your own sound is very key as an artist, and something that really can be replicated to an extent. Or if they do try to replicate it, like I'm the father of that. Lil Wayne, he got his own sound, and you can tell when people are kind of taking inspiration from Lil Wayne. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right. So we know the mainstream beef been going on between T.I. and 50 Cent and stuff like that. We know that
Yes.
T.I. has a new album coming out. I know a lot of people been talking about what artists at that age are beefing for. You had Tony Yayo and Ja Rule got into it. They see each other on the airplane and they got into it.
Yeah.
And people saying these guys are in their 40s and 50s, why they still beefing at the age? What you say about that?
Well, I don't know that I can't. It's hard for me to speak on like the Ja Rule and the the Yayo and how they was. You gotta understand, like, those type of beefs are like, they run deep. You know what I'm saying? So it's people like, it's even outside of artistry. There are old men like 60s, 70s, and 80s, like, that'll see somebody from their past that'll trigger them, and they'll be like, it's on site. I'm just being for real. Like, I done heard my grandmama talk about certain situations and things that happened to her, and if I see her again, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to touch on and be like, well, you too old for that, because you feeling those people, they feeling how they feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's on site. They've been beefing, for years. They don't like each other. It's understood they don't like each other. Now as far as this 50 Cent and T.I., this thing is interesting. I'm not okay from an artist standpoint. I know that 50 Cent is the bigger artist when it comes down to sales, international reach. Probably 50 Cent is the bigger artist.
Right.
Almost like how Snoop is a real big artist because he's into everything. You know what I'm saying? Snoop is doing everything. To me, he's the biggest rapper, most well-known rapper, period. Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? He's into everything.
Yeah.
So I understand that 50 Cent is at a mogul status. You know, he goes beyond music. So I ain't doubting that. But however, I am from the South. You know what I'm saying? And T.I. music impacted me a little bit more than 50 Cent, solely because of the region I'm in. Like I was messing with T.I. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
When it comes down to family, you know, I just think that T.I. did right. You know what I mean? Like, even though it was a fan pick, it was a picture that's already been out, and he just reposted it, but he reposted it in a way of disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Like it was meant for disrespecting his wife. So T.I. did what he was supposed to do, but he took it what I think was responsible for him. He didn't pull up on the man, you know what I'm saying, on some gangster type time. He went and did it in music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can respect that music more than memes. But 50 Cent is a troller. That's what he does. He trolls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so you can't expect 50 Cent. I don't expect 50 Cent to go and try to battle him. Man, the man ain't rap. He ain't made music unless it's on for sync. And the reason he's doing that, because that's where the money at right now. Sync license to be able to create a theme song for his own show and get paid off of it and get that revenue. That's smart. So like he only gets in the booth if it makes sense. To him, he ain't gonna make no money getting in the booth for T.I. And I ain't trying to speak for T.I. or anything like that, but I know T.I. is not doing this to promote his project. The only reason I'm saying that is because the song that he just dropped that Pharrell produced, that was before the beef. And that went, you know what I'm saying? That went up. That brought all of us out. We like, I think it's called Let Them Know.
Let Them Know,
Yeah, like that Pharrell, if I'm not mistaken, Pharrell produced that track. That track got motion before the beef. So he didn't need 50 Cent to make that track was hot by itself. So when people say, well, he's doing that to help promote for his album, I don't. But his sons, like the way King did, you know, put his dead mama on the shirt, you know what I'm saying? Had the mama smoking with him, like that was very disrespectful. But that's like battle rap. And you gotta understand, King is a YN. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you gotta put your mind into this was popping in YN world. And then you got the other song, Son, who went more the hip-hop route, the more thought-provoking route. You know what I'm saying? That's his style. So, like T.I. got his style, King had his style, you know what I'm saying? And what is it, Domini? I think that's how he says his name. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Okay, he got his own style. So I respect that. I you know what I'm saying, I respect how they came, and you know, it is what it is. When you press a button, you can't get mad at what happens after you press that red button. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever.
But you know, it is, but you know, also, Pap, I see how a lot of these artists now are turning their kids into the industry. They are educating them in business, and we go biblical for a moment. We say this all the time in Proverbs: that good man leave inheritance for his children. So do you think it's very important for parents to educate their children on entrepreneurship, investments, stocks, and things like that, so they keep that legacy going? Because in our community, we don't think like that. We leave it up to our children to fend for themselves. But I'm not a parent, but I'm just saying, I'm seeing more how these, like the TIs and them, are educating their kids on being business owners. And not, you saw what you said about that.
I think that's very important. Like, I think that's very important. My dad, my mother, one thing that they instilled into me above anything else, like, because no parents are perfect. I'm not even a perfect parent. Like, my children will tell you, like, I didn't messed up all type of ways, like being for real. So I don't even want to sit up here and be like, I'm the role model dad, you know what I'm saying, or anything like that. Like, I don't even want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I know I do the best I can, but I know that parents aren't perfect. So I definitely try to look at the positive things. So one positive thing that my parents taught me was the hustle and the grind and don't give up. If you got something that you are wanting to do, pursue it, and you pursue it with everything you got. As long as you got breath in your body, as long as you're able, move around and make it happen. Like, that's one thing that my parents definitely taught me, my mom and my dad. My dad was definitely a hustler, you know what I'm saying? Definitely an entrepreneur. You know, I've seen my daddy fail plenty of times at business, but I've also seen him succeed, you know what I'm saying? And still figure things out, you know what I'm saying? So my dad got a product now, man. He got a barbecue recipe and he got a barbecue sauce recipe. I'm telling you, man, whenever I get funding, that's one of the first things I'm getting behind. I'm pushing that, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that. So I feel like that he taught me that, and that's something that I try to pass on to my children. But I also tell them, you know, hey, when you get your money, make sure you say don't spend every dime you got. Like,
that's right.
When you get to a certain amount, you count that amount as zero. You at zero. You know what I'm saying? Like, spend all your money, like save something and put it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, little small little things like that goes a long way when they become adults. Stock and cryptocurrency, like I want to get them involved in all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a crypto person. I don't know what about crypto. It's always like spiritual in a way. Like I connect with cryptocurrency and like reading them charts. It's hard. Sometimes it's hard for me to read the stock charts, but like crypto is like a lot of the companies I am so involved. Like I get so involved in and connected to that I don't know. It's like I can make really good investments in crypto. So I like crypto. You got to be careful with it because your stuff can get hacked. So you got to be careful. But I want my children to be financially literate, and because I know they don't want to be broke. You know, they've experienced that. They know what it's like to go without, you know, wearing clothes that they really don't want to wear. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I experienced that too coming up, you know, and I want to break that generational curse, you know, even if they become adults, even if like I said, my oldest, she's 18, 19, before I actually get to the point to where I can just really bless them the way I want to, you know, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Because your children never stop being your children. My parents still help me to this day. You know what I'm saying? They still support me and help me in ways. So even when they're adults, because sometimes I had it in my mind, like, I got to do this before they get a certain age. I got to do this for them. Like, that's one thing I had to let go, you know what I'm saying? And give to God. Like, God, you know my journey. You know what I'm doing. You the one gave me the vision. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trusting you. You know what I'm saying? So in the right time where I can be able to bless my children the way I want to be able to bless them. So, yeah.
I feel you on that, man. I'm not gonna hold you. I got to do one last question. I'm gonna let you go. What's next for you? New projects, tours, or adventures on the horizon?
What's next? Right now, what I got coming up next, pretty soon is the South by Southwest. The conference with Dawa and Vintage Music. Like I said, I'll be a sync panelist there. So that's what's coming up next. That's immediate. I'm also going to focus on, once the album drops, I'm going to dive straight into visuals, and not just normal visuals. I want quality cinematic visuals. I definitely want, of course, we're getting into the era where mic drops and a minute and 30-second videos are what's popular. So I'm definitely gonna have those. But I also want to delve into the traditional music videos, where it's a full music video, and I want to get into some acting. You know what I'm saying? And since I'm already doing TV and film, so I definitely want my music videos to be very cinematic. I think that will also help push the music towards TV and film, when music supervisors can see my music videos and be like, man, I see that acting in there that can go behind a certain scene. You know what I mean? It's just different branding ideas that I got. So shout out to my sponsor, Exclusive Kicks. A lot of what I do, I wouldn't be able to do without his help and his sponsorships. So I definitely want to shout out Exclusive Kicks. He has his own merch, and also he has special shoes that you just can't get it anywhere. You know what I mean? So shout out to him, and yeah. That's why I got it.
Man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate you once again, man, for coming on here. And Larissa, well, I know it's storming here in Dallas, in DFW, and storms could be crazy. So that's what the internet is. But we do appreciate you coming on here, taking time and your schedule to come on. So for you to leave, man, do you have anything you want to leave with the audience? Is they're live streaming right now, and also they go back and get the replay?
Yes, never give up. That's like my thing. Like, and I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care what your situation looks like. I don't care like how impossible it seems. There is a solution. Like on the inside of you, God has made a way. Like there's nothing too hard for God. You know what I mean? Trust God. Trust in the gifts that God has given you, and don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Consistency and small wins are better than just a big jump and a big leap into things. When you get those small wins, celebrate that. And always be thankful, man. Be thankful. I don't care what you're going through. It can be worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can be worse. Be thankful. Don't give up. It's hard. It preach good, sound good, but put the work in to not give up. Make small. If you're in depression right now, you got some depression. Make small steps. Just get out the bed, stay out the bed for 5 minutes, and get back in the bed. That's all you can do. You done won. That's a victory for that day. And the next day, try to do 7 minutes. You know what I'm saying? The next day, shoot for 15. You know what I mean? Whatever you do, just take small steps toward your recovery. And that's it. That's all I got.
That sums it up. So we're about to get depart, ladies and gentlemen. I will be back here Saturday on the Walking This Way Impact with podcast. We're going to be getting off at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back here Saturday on the Walking This Way. Of course, check out me and Larissa every Wednesday with the Just Saying podcast at 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Pat's a new album coming out. So y'all make sure y'all follow him on all his social media platforms. Support him and what he's doing. It's all about supporting the spirit of excellence. I don't want to say black, but I want to say this is supporting excellence. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Excellence don't have no color. It's all about the spirit of excellence. So, man, my brother, I salute you, God. Keep up the great work. I'll see you soon. And pretty much that sums us. We out this thing, man. Peace, everybody.
Proud of you, Turner. Proud of you, man. Proud of you, bro. I love it.
I appreciate it. It's open here. So, man, we got to go to the part, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Wednesday. We out this thing. Peace, everybody.
Peace.